I hear a faint, familiar, long forgotten song, an ancient melody reminding me I can depend on love's sweet gentle voice to sing me awake. The nightmare is over, I am ultimately safe.
So Daniel, did you always have that faith and that belief in yourself?
Absolutely not. When I was growing up, I lived in a mental prison where I saw myself as a lacking, incomplete being. I was constantly critical of myself. I had no self-esteem, and I felt like I needed to be perfect at everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I could not accept anything I ever did as good enough. So it was the complete opposite, actually.
So what was the breaking point for you?
The breaking point was realizing one day that all I ever want is to feel better.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very simple realization I had. All I ever want, all anybody ever wants, is to feel better, to find true happiness.
Mm-hmm.
That gave me tremendous relief. I realized that all my efforts were aimed in the right direction at all times, and so is everybody else's. We do
Right.
the best we can with what we know.
So once you had this awareness, what happened next?
I began to forgive myself.
Mm.
I forgave those around me. That releases a huge weight.
It does.
Just simply the act of embracing who you are, understanding that who you are is a necessary step. That you're not a mistake.
Mm.
That is all it takes, and that frees you to live your life unencumbered by all these beliefs about yourself.
So do you ever get triggered by feelings of insecurity or fear?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
You all,
Yeah.
when you do, you have to have the antidote.
Yes.
For me, it's simply reminding myself of who we really are. We're far more than all this.
Mm.
We're spiritual beings. We're always innocent. We're all equal. We're all unlimited. I go to the forest. I take a long walk in the forest, and that's what works for me, just to get away, to disconnect from all the noise,
Yep.
disconnect from the Twitter, the Facebook, the constant texting, the television, the iPod. You just disconnect. You go out there and you remind yourself of the truth of who you are and the bigger picture of things, and that always fixes it.
That's beautiful. So what advice would you give to someone, Daniel, who doesn't know how to forgive themselves, and they're in that place of unworthiness and doubt and guilt? What would you say to them?
I would say simply that we all need to recognize that in the past we did the best we could at the time with what we knew. We always act the best we can with our current state of awareness in our common seeking of happiness. We all want the same things in life. We want love, we want happiness, we want harmony. That is deep down what we really want. You gotta get in touch with this and realize that in the past you did the only thing you could. In the present is the only way it could be, and it's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace your life's challenges. Embrace the situation you find yourself in. Embrace who you are, and embrace those around you, not as a mistake or as something that shouldn't be, but as exactly what needs to be right now and what you need to deal with and work with. Just that little shift, that subtle shift in perception makes all the difference and turns your life completely around.
Mm-hmm. It does. It's about shifting from the inside out. It's not about changing everything on the external so that you feel better, but it's making that change inside first. And what I found, and I imagine you have as well, that when you make that shift, everything around you looks different and it starts showing up differently for you.
It's all about your perception of things. Happiness is simply an interpretation of the things around you, an interpretation of yourself.
Right.
You interpret yourself as a flawed, incomplete being, and you will suffer. That is automatic. Instead, understand who you really are. You're a complete person. Your value is undisputed. Your worth is undisputed. It is beyond all this. When you see yourself through those eyes, you find the happiness that you're looking for, and it is just simply an interpretation.
That is absolutely beautiful, Daniel. Thank you so much for bringing your whole self here and your inspired wisdom. And I know that people are going to be so touched by your very, very powerful story. So thank you so much for being part of this Unwavering Strength journey. I can't wait for people to know more about you and read your story.
Thank you, Sandy. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
I have answered in silence. I listen at length to the calling of my heart, unwavering.